Who is Kobe Muse?
You already starting off with a hard question. Nah, that's gonna be easy. But yeah, Kobe Muse is a family man, a very loyal person, outgoing person, a type of person you want to be around, talk to, hang out with. What else? Yeah, who is Kobe? That is a great question.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you a funny one, bro. Honestly, I've always known you as Kobe. I thought that was your real name, bro. Well, until like, I'm like, wait, is this guy's name like Muhammad too, or is it just Kobe? So I'm like, tell me what's up with that, bro. How come I've always known you as Kobe and I've never known you as Muhammad?
One thing about me, bro, we're very similar. I like to start trends and I like to run with it. So I remember I was at the John Krog and then I hit a fadeaway Kobe Bryant shot, and then my homie Gucci was like, "Oh," she started calling me Kobe. So the same day, bro, I got home. I was on Facebook. That's when Facebook was popping. I was on Facebook. I changed my name to Kobe. From there, man, I just ran with it.
Man,
Yeah, and it's funny too, bro, because everybody knows me as Kobe, so they don't even know my real name. You know?
why is that? Like, I've always known you as Kobe. I'm like, before like through our mutual friend, I'm like, I always seen you like posted on the homie's Instagram. I'm like, bro, Kobe. I was like, there's no way his name is Kobe, and I never actually like asked you what your name was. I just went by like your Instagram, and I think a lot of people like just go by like Kobe. So is it more of like a preference thing, or it's like a
I mean, it's just something that not that I don't want to be called Muhammad or Mahmoud. So my real name is Mahmoud, and then my American name is Muhammad, and then my nickname is Kobe. So it was more of a like, if you're not gonna call me my real name, might as well call me like a nickname, instead of calling me a name that's not my name. But it's something that I've always been called. So I'm just used to it. It's nothing that I prefer to be called. It's just more of like that was my image.
yeah. Aside from being self-proclaimed mayor of the city, what do you do for work?
Yeah, thank you for asking me that. For sure, want to be the mayor one day. But for
Inshallah.
now, inshallah, for now, I am a counselor. I'm very grateful that I have this job. I work at San Diego City College, so it's big, bro. Cause I remember not when I was in college, bro. I felt like giving up. So for me to have a 360 moment, because I was a student at San Diego City College back in 2016. For now being a counselor, bro, means like the world to me. It's something that I worked hard for and I achieved it. Some people talk about goals, and talk about it, but I felt like I went out there and I handled business.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
You said you went to city, but prior to that, where did you go for high school?
Uh, Sadly, I went to Crawford High School. Yeah, man, I went to Crawford High School. It's funny because when my dad was like, "Oh, it's either you go to Crawford with your siblings, or you walk to Hoover." I was like, "Man, I'm not walking." So I took my ass to Crawford.
Nah, I thought I had an idea. I thought you went to Crawford, but I thought you might have went to Hoover because I know there's like a lot of outreach going on over there too. I guess they have like a transfer program. Like if you're there for like 3 years and you have like a 3.0, you get to go to San Diego State like straight over there. But living in the East though, or going to high school in the East, talk about the community.
Yeah, man. I grew up in City Heights, 50 languages spoken. It's beautiful. Different people from like Vietnam, Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Mexico. It's crazy, man. You see different people from different parts of the world, and it's beautiful. I love City Heights. That's where I mainly grew up at. I lived a little bit in the southeast, but City Heights is, where my heart's at. And just grow up in the east, man. East Dago, man. All my brothers and family members and just the people. The community is beautiful, man. Everybody has each other's back, and it's unique, man. It's nothing compared to like any other city, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
What is it like growing up in the East?
It's really tough, man. A very I wouldn't call it a poor neighborhood, but we have a lot of disadvantages, and it's hard. It's a lot of affordable housing, so it just shows you like what type of community it is, and even for myself, like my whole family, it was like five of us, and we grew up in a one-bedroom apartment. One-bedroom apartment. My mother didn't know English, my father didn't know English, I didn't know English, none of my siblings knew English, and it was a tough moment, man. Especially back when I was very young because we didn't have transportation. Like literally, I remember folks, just like me, bleed the same, and they would have a car, they would have nice clothing, and I felt bad to this day, and I would tell my mom like, why the hell, how come I don't have a car? Why can't you buy me a car? And at that moment, like I wasn't processing that, that she can't afford it,
Hmm.
and it sucked, man. And I feel grateful for everything I have, because I worked hard for it, and I know people like you, work hard for your stuff, and you're grinding every day, and that's the type of person I am, I'm getting up, I'm getting up every day. I'm trying to feed my family, whether it's my family here right now or my future family, So it was very tough, man. And there was moments in my life where it was very tough, and I just had to like snap out of it and be like, you know what, like one thing, and I told you this earlier too, is my principles, never give up, and like I have my own standards that I hold for myself, and if I can't achieve those standards, or if I can't like live by whatever I want to live by, then it's like, I'm doing myself a disservice, bro. That is the biggest thing that I don't want to do, But to answer your question, it was a tough time, man, growing up in East Dago. But like I said, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Beautiful, beautiful, a lot. Um, my personal experiences. I think the East made me a frontline hustler. Like growing up in the East, I actually grew up in. I came from Columbus, Ohio, like in 2011. A lot of people don't know that. They just thought like, okay, yeah, he's been the Dago kid his whole entire life. But when I moved here, it was such a big shock to me, bro. Yeah, I grew up in like a cold weather, bro, snowing. Like all the seasons, winter, spring, summer, fall, was literally like that in Columbus. So when I moved here in 2011, kid you not, I was welcomed with the hottest weather at 9 p.m., bro. I
Facts.
told my dad along the history, like,
I
let me
say
get
that.
the hell out of here. I do not want to stay here, bro. Imagine sweating on your bed for sleeping. In Ohio, it was never like that. It was always like so cold. So when I got here, in 2011, I went to Marshall Elementary, I think, for a few months, like literally like right before fully going to East San Diego for like a few months. After that, I went to Horseman. I think that's where I met a lot of our mutual friends over. I went there for sixth and seventh grade. So like I was still getting used to the dynamics of like, okay, how's San Diego life? How am I gonna assimilate here? Cause I didn't know nobody, bro. I didn't grow up with nobody, so I had to completely restart. I haven't even I barely tried my first carne asada fries like in seventh grade,
That's
bro. The
crazy.
homie was like, "Oh, this guy's cool, so let him eat with us." I was like, "What is this?" They're like carne asada fries. Like, what the hell is this? I just remember like a whole like, I think it was I think it was from I forgot. I think the Santanas, right over there next to Horseman.
Yeah,
But
Santana's.
getting back to the point, I just remember like I didn't really grow up with the community. I didn't really grow up with like a lot of our mutuals. So I knew nobody. So I'm out here just trying to figure out, okay, like who can I be? Where are the people at? How can I relate to people? I wasn't necessarily like super confident when I was younger. I wasn't good at doing a lot of things. I sucked at speaking. I was nervous. I was like this little like chubby kid. So I'm like, damn, is anybody gonna like me? Is anybody gonna like be my friend? But what I learned through that time alone and figuring things out in my life was having my own voice, like standing on business. I didn't know what it truly meant, but I just knew that I had to kind of be genuine to myself because I'm the oldest too, so everybody's looking at me to like set an example, or like get married or do like all this whole bunch of other stuff. So firstly, like finding a voice, and then naturally, like a couple years later, it goes into like, okay, now I'm in high school. I went to Morris High School. Shout out to the Southeast, by the way. I started selling like candy in high school. I kid you not. I remember I seen my younger brother selling candy, like probably like gum, or like some candy bars at their elementary school, And I was like, maybe I can do something like this too. So after that, my mom went to Sam's Club. She pulled out her black card, aka the EBT, bought me like a box of candy, and I swear, like the first day, I like sold everything. I was like, I don't know how I was able to like figure out how to do all that, but from then on, that's when like my whole life started changing. Okay, if I can go from candy, what else can I go to? So I had my run in my fair share of businesses in the East, but not to take too long for my answer. I think like when you grow up in the East, like you said, it's like a melting pot of a whole bunch of cultures. I went to school with Cambodians and Vietnamese before I went to like a majority Filipino school. So I'm like,
Hmm.
damn, it really is a melting pot. And like you see the Somali people like linking up with the Cambodians and Vietnamese. So it's like it kind of gave me like a good taste of okay, it's not just about being like Somali. Like when people talk about like Edie and it being all Somali, it really isn't. It's like there's a lot of Somali people, but there's a lot more like culture. There's a lot more history to it. Um, I think going on to the next question is what is your story?
Yeah, before I get to my story, I want to touch up a little bit about what you're saying, especially like selling candy, because I swear I did the same thing. I cried for high school, but I had a different situation that happened to me. So same thing. My homie was flipping. He was getting some Mexican candy. Shout out to our Mexican plug, man. I ain't gonna say too
Oh
much.
God.
You feel me? But yeah. So he would bring candy, and I'm like, okay, bro. I'm like, I need my percent too. This is someone that has nothing, you know. So if
Yeah.
it's like $3 at the end of the day, if it's $5, I'm taking it. You know, I don't have anything, you know. So we became business partners. So we were selling candy. We were selling in the bathroom, bro. It was crazy, you know. So I remember, man, shout out to Mr. Shaw, man. But I don't know if it was Mr. Shaw or someone at Crawford High School was like you can't be selling these candies, and I don't think it was Miss Shaw, but it was someone in my high school. They're like, you can't sell these candies, and I got trouble for it. And now they're like, next time you do that, we're gonna take your money. And I remember, bro, I had stacks of money, man. I was like, whoa, I'm him right now, you know?
The literal candy man.
Exactly. And I was the plug, bro. People will come up to me and be like, yo, you got it on deck. And I'm not talking about no drugs. I'm talking about candy, you know? And I'm like, yeah, I have it. So, anyways, that fund came to an end. They didn't let me do it. And that's something that I didn't like know what was going on, you know. But now I know like they don't want me to profit. I'm gonna be real, you know. I was a hustler, you know, trying to make money. I have nothing, you know. My family is making ends meet. They're going to work. They're coming home tired. How are they gonna give me a life, you know? So I feel like I got robbed, you know. In that experience, that's something when I do become mayor and I do become in these higher positions, I'm gonna come for a lot of people, you know, whether they like it or not, bro, because I feel like I know what's equality, you know, and I know what's right and what's wrong, you know. But I wanted to touch up on that.
No, that's actually I think that that speaks for a lot of people because majority of our community in San Diego, we're not like all the way here. And I feel like we're not even in the middle. I feel like our parents like they're so busy with like trying to make ends meet that they can't really give an amazing quality of life to their kids. But alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful for my parents for giving me everything that they can in their world. But I know that obviously in now in like in this day and age, like we're not gonna be like given the same resources. When I mean resources, like I was still probably shopping at Payless probably all the way to like my sophomore year of high school. Probably when my mom opened up her first business in 2016 is when, no more e money at the time. But I think all the way to then is like it was like Burlington or Ross, and there's nothing wrong with Marshalls or Burlington, still the OG spot. But like, imagine like seeing like I didn't even own like a single JanSport backpack, bro.
It's
So
crazy.
I'm like I wonder like how like things in my life would have been if we lived in like a super big home, like nice cars, flashy cars. But I wasn't given the luxury of having rich parents, but I had the luxury of having loving parents, parents who are willing to do everything that they can to uh, put food on the table, and I haven't really I didn't really get to see my dad a lot because he was working, the taxi wave back in 2011, 12. And after that wave, he was doing Uber and Lyft. So, like, my dad, he was just grinding, bro, straight grinding. I think maybe education could have been something that my parents could have done to have a better well-off career, but we come from big families, bro. Five plus or more. So my mom was like, breadwinner at home, taking care of the kids, raising everybody, and my dad would be outside, uh, like making his bread. So it's like I'm in the middle watching all of this go on. So being 11, being like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, all the way probably up to my high school, I've always had this like big chip on my shoulder, bro. And I think when people look at what I do, they ask me why do I do it. It's because I've always felt like I had this like chip that I can't take off, and I have to keep stacking on my accolades, keep going and going and going.
Hmm.
It's like no matter what I did, like that chip will still be there. Why? Because I'm the oldest, bro. I'm 23, and the youngest is like 3 or 4. I want to make sure that my siblings and inshallah my mom gets the life that we all couldn't have growing up, especially, excuse me, like being immigrants coming here after the Civil War. Nobody had nothing. So to say that, oh yeah, we came up from like money, or we came up from a certain like a certain upbringing, it's kind of crazy to me because people, I think, like even in American culture right now, we kind of like look at this whole underdog story of like not having anything, or I made it on my own, but that's just like that's one side of the story. We have like a whole other side of the story that people don't know. They just know Somalia or Somali people are from East Africa, but they don't know like the culture, the assimilation, the attitudes, the mentality that they had to bring in order for them to survive over here. That's why, like, when people always tell me education is important, I agree, education is important. But imagine having immigrant parents that haven't assimilated to anything and have to go to school right away. I think that's another disadvantage too. I think we've had our fair share of disadvantages, but I think our parents and the people before are coming in with like preset disadvantages of having to learn things the first time, and then us having to learn how to like maneuver
Hmm.
with still being broke in America, and then still trying to make our way for ourselves and still take care of our family, which is why it goes on to the first point that I said. I think the East really makes frontline hustlers, and no matter how anybody get it, I'm so proud of like my community because we're turning nothing into something. And that's something, even if it's nothing, it's always worth something. And that's what I think is like key to being part of like East San Diego, even Southeast, is we always find a way. And it kind of reminds me of like our family back home is like they're always finding a way. Whether it's like selling like water jugs, carrying crates of water to sell, or carrying street food or a sambus to sell. We're doing the same things over here. I know you know a couple of the Javiers that be selling chapati. They're like, okay, I can get anjero from here, or
I love Jabati for sure.
and I think sabayad is what it's called. But
Hmm.
it's like stuff like that. Even like right now, like moms are hustling too, dads are hustling too, kids are like starting to grow up and hustling too. So it's like I think the kind of product and environment that I want to have in this conversation is we're grinders, we're hustlers. I don't wanna fit into this whole system of product of the environment. So we're gonna act out because we don't have resources, or that I can't get to where I want to be at because I have no resources. That's why I truly believe, and I mentioned this to you earlier, that if somebody wants something, bro, they're gonna find a way to get it. Same thing with your mom. Same thing with your dad. And you sitting over here is showing me that your parents did something right, and now like you're course correcting and changing your bloodline from what seemed like forever ago until now, and you're making something for yourself. So you chose the hard way. Some people chose the easy way and they don't end up going anywhere, but you chose the hard way and you had your whole disadvantages and you're taking off. That's why like
Thank you.
that's why I brought you on here, because I feel like I relate to you more than you think, because you being like I don't want to use the word icon, but you being a very like pillar for people in this community does give a lot of people hope. It gives me hope because somebody with the same color as me, somebody who grew up in the same city as me, went to high school a few minutes down the street, is actually like doing something with their lives. A lot of parents don't get to make it that far to be able to retire or make a whole bunch of money, but I feel like you're changing the narrative of I'm gonna take care of myself so I can take care of my family so they don't have to worry. And that's the same similar value that I share. I'm a family person. I'm loyal and I care about people that nurtured me and cared for me. But I also know how it feels to be on the other side of that, of not being loved, nurtured, cared for, and having people not support you or your dreams. Which is why like I kinda wanna ask, not kinda, I do wanna ask you, on your way up to the top, I know we're still there. Um, what are some things that people said about you on your way, like grinding and for your career?
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely get to that point. Even when I was in middle school, I went to Clark Middle School, man. Shout out to Clark. It was in East Dago, and I went to Bell too. Like you said, shout out to the Southeast as well. But when I remember when I was in Clark, I was in seventh grade or eighth grade. I can't remember, but I was getting in trouble a lot. I wouldn't put the blame all on myself. I felt like a lot of people need to hold themselves accountable, and that's one thing about me. I'm responsible, and I'm gonna hold myself accountable. But I feel like the staff there didn't do their part, as workers at that middle school. But anyways, I remember a teacher telling my dad, this is my mom. My mom's back home in the motherland, visiting her family, and I'm here in San Diego, bored as hell at school. And then I remember they were telling my dad that, hey, this guy's not gonna promote, and on top of that, when he turns 18, he's gonna get locked up. So they're already putting prison in my mind, and I'm only 13 years old. And me, I'm one of those type of people. I'm like, okay,
Wait,
set.
Clark said?
Swear to God, bro. Wallahi. And then I was like, okay, for sure.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was like, okay, for sure. Like I kept it in the back of my mind. I'm like, they don't know what I'm finna do. And this is me. I don't know what I'm finna do. I'm just hoping that I'm gonna do great. And there's a lot of haters in the world. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're a kind person, I feel like I'm the most kindest person in the world. But there's always gonna be haters. There's always gonna be people that are gonna love you. So I already knew that. Just growing up and just like even when I'm working hard, I didn't have a lot of negative comments. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I'm one of the most supportive people in San Diego and in East Dago. I feel like a lot of people be like, oh, hood hero and stuff like that. Like I always been loved. So I can't really say that I was like hated. But there was moments in my life where I want to say people praying on my downfall, but making negative
Say it
comments.
for how it is. People praying
Yeah,
on your downfall, man.
basically. But yeah, but it was a lot of more love than hate. And that's why I appreciate all my brothers in East Dago, all my sisters, brothers, just everybody. They show me nothing but love, man. Even with the mayor, I started calling myself mayor. I ran with it. Everybody showing love, man, and I thank everybody, everybody who supported me, everybody who took a chance on me, bro, because it's big, bro. Someone taking a chance on you is like it's like they're lending you $100 or even $1 million.
Facts.
And they care about you. So that's how I look at it, man. If you take a chance on me, I'm gonna take a chance on you. And I feel like everybody's normal. I feel like everybody's on the same level. I never looked at anybody different. I'm never gonna look at anybody different because God, one day could give you something, He could take it right back. So very humble person. And bro, I have a lot of empathy. I love people. Whether even if they don't like me or not, bro, I love them. And that's just the way I grew up. I don't want no hate. I don't want no bad energy. I just want to live life. Have kids, have a family. And just enjoy
Inshallah.
life. Inshallah.
Who took a chance on you?
Oh man, that's a good question. Who took a chance on me? First, San Diego City College, man. They didn't have to. They didn't have to hire me, but they took me with no experience. So I want to give them, the most respect. And obviously, first and foremost, I want to thank Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Without Him, there's no success, and not tell him this every day, I thank him, so big shout out to our Lord, but yeah, who else took a chance on me? That's a good question. Shout out to my guy Dr. Bull, man. That's my guy. He really looked out for me in the
For
field.
sure.
You know Dr. Bull?
Yeah, for
Yeah, man.
sure.
Shout out to him, man. He's a real one. Wallahi. I ain't gonna I ain't gonna say too much, but he pulls some cards. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's many other more people. Shout out to all my brothers, man. Shout out to Mose, man. Shout out to my team, man. They know who they are, man. And yeah, there's a lot of people that took a chance on me, that showed me love. But those are the few people, and the people that I didn't mention, man. Also too, man, Dr. Charlins, man. She was my mentor at San Diego City College, and I talk about San Diego City College a lot, bro, because it's like you making it in your field, and it's hard, bro. I'm the only one in my family that went to college and did something,
Wow.
you know what I'm saying? That's a
Mashallah.
lot of stress, bro, and that's like a lot on you. You feel me? And I'm the youngest, and I'm trying to be great every day, bro, just like you. I wake up, my mindset is be great. There's no way, man. My family came from Somalia, bro, from a civil war. For me to sit here and not do nothing, bro, it's just like I'm slapping my parents, bro. That's basically, the equivalence to that, fam. So, but yeah, there's a lot of people that took a chance on me. If I didn't say your name, you already know who it is, man. But yeah.
Your headspace back then versus now. What kind of headspace were you in before this whole entire professional career that you're going to? Because I know you mentioned to me you want to do. I don't know exactly if you mentioned to me like what you wanted to do previously, but I just want to just learn more about like your mentality back then versus your mentality back now. And I'm gonna embarrass Kobe. He used to have like a big old afro. So after he cut his afro, that's when he's like straight. So I
Yeah,
want to know Kobe afro mentality and then short hair Kobe mentality.
yeah, for sure. You didn't have to flame me on camera, bro.
Hey man, this is real life, baby. Come on.
Facts, facts. But yeah, man. Like my brother Mo said, I had an afro for a very long time. First and foremost, I feel like I snaked myself. Man. Anyways, I'm not even gonna talk about it. That air, but everybody has to have that air. You know what I'm saying? That Kobe air when me have an afro, and now is completely different. Back then, it was just more of like getting through the motion. You know what I'm saying? The funny guy, the super outgoing person, the person that just loves to like play basketball, talk smacks when he plays basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like I real
Facts.
life be talking shit, bro, when I play basketball. But it's love for the game, bro. I'm competitive. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to basketball, I'm competitive. But very different than I am now. Not saying that I'm like very modest, but I'm more of like I know what I want. Back then it was I wanted everything, bro. I wanted to go to the league. I wanted to freaking be the president. I wanted to do everything,
As
bro.
you should.
Yeah, like you feel me? Like why not, bro? Who's gonna stop me? Why not? But now more of a person that's just focused. Thinking about my future, thinking about marriage and like I'm man, this is real life. We're only getting older, bro, and our parents are only getting older. Like I want to leave a legacy. I want to leave some kids. You know, to hold down this name. I feel like I put in work.
Kobe Jr., Bean Jr.
Like,
A
exactly.
lot, bro. Come on.
But to answer your question, I'm gonna keep it short and simple. Back then, is very different than now, And back then, I was still finding myself in a sense, but I feel like now I know what I want. But yeah,
You mentioned a lot of attributes like grinding, loyalty, hustling. What kind of person? I know you mentioned it before, but I want to reiterate again. Like, what kind of person are you?
yeah, I'm a person where you can call up 4 a.m. And if you need anything, I'm there to support. I know how it is. It's very hard, bro. You can't be in this world without no support. So anybody that you see, everybody got a support team, and they should have a support team. But I'm very loyal, like I said, like if you're good to me, I'm good to you. But if you cross my line, it's like like it's like I feel like I gave it all to you. But besides all that, I'm a very chill person, bro. Very laid back. You know, Allah Mubarak, man. I feel like I'm a handsome person too. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. Hey,
But yeah, Honestly, man, I'm a type of person, man. You can trust. If you need advice, if you need anything, you could come to me, man. If I don't have it, I know where to find it. So, but I'm a lot. I just can't think right now. But yeah,
Nah, that's very solid. Why do you have that perception of yourself?
I don't know, man. Maybe just the way I was raised. Sometimes I question myself too, like the way I am, bro. I just feel like it's God's gift, for me, So yeah,
Bless.
yeah. How about you, man?
Uh, Perception of myself.
And and who are you? Like, cause I feel like the people gotta know too, man.
Man, I can't believe he redirected that to me because he's on the spotlight. I'm not on the spotlight. But if I'm being real again, I don't know if I could say it in a sentence, but simply point blank, I'm Mohammed Chad. Everybody always referred to me as Mo or Mo's World, but I think just like anything and everything else, social media is not my real life at all. And I remember at one point in time, I used to want to believe that the stuff that people posted were highlights. So I kind of fell victim to, okay, I'm gonna only post like the highlights of myself. So for the last few years, all people ever knew were just highlights. This guy who's just grinding, flipping. But in reality, like I was still going through a whole bunch of shit like before then, especially like mental health issues. Like I'm not gonna lie, like not to air out my whole entire business, but I was pretty much kind of capping on social media for the longest time because I knew I wasn't okay. I knew I wasn't in the right headspace. But the reason being is like I wanted to know who I was and figure out. And social media has like a weird way of giving you a false perception of an identity, bro. When in reality, it's just everything is make believe. So who I am now, I think is the better question to ask. I am a ventured and tenured entrepreneur in East San Diego with industry experience in not only car rentals as well as a restaurant, uh, and what I'm doing right now with Modest Forever. But not to define who I am by my businesses, I am an artistic person. I think the kind of stuff that I love doing is because of my love for any kind of art. I love finding meaning in things. The kind of person I am is I always try to find meaning in people, meaning in things, and meaning in life. So the kind of person I am is an outgoing person that tries to find art everywhere I go, whether it's through like business systems, whether it's like going to school, whether it's like being around family or being around friends. I love instilling value into other people because at one point in time I felt like nobody was valuing me and I had like a very low perception of myself of value. Um, I think I'm going off a little bit, but overall, I'm just Muhammad. I'm Muslim in 2024. I'm also Somali. Um, I don't know if I'm answering the question right because I still think I'm figuring out a whole bunch of stuff. So when people are telling you who are you on a camera, it's kind of scary because you never really know what to say, and sometimes like you get scared and you try to filter out, okay, what are people gonna find out about me if they're seeing this online or if they're watching our video, like who is he? But simple is I'm just another human being with bigger goals and bigger ambitions than the average person. And I'm a grinder. I'm a hustler. And that's what I've always known. I don't think I know myself for anything else because I built such a rapport with giving everything my 110% that I don't see myself doing anything different. And that's why like I'm here with you having an open conversation on like ambitions, goal, life, while maybe other people and our counterparts are doing something completely different because this is what I love doing and this is what I think I want to do, which is making a platform where people can be themselves, tell your story. Big shout out to Nate Howard. He always told me he has a saying, especially with his with what he got going on, is telling your story before they do. And I think I've been hearing him say that since like 2016. And I didn't fully believe in what he was saying when I was 16, 17. Man, even when I turned like 18 or 19. I'm like, what story am I going to tell? I'm just another African American trying to make it out. But I think there's more to our story than just like being poor and not having resources or system looking down on us. So like telling our stories and being able to have other people tell their stories too, and you telling your story. Before we go on to the next thing, I do want to thank you for a lot of things, bro. Like, you don't even know how much of an impact that you have for me. Like, I don't usually look up to a lot of people. I don't have like older brothers. And I'm not gassing up just because we're on a podcast. I think a lot of things are best understood when it's not said, and I feel like I kind of have that relationship with you because I never questioned whether or not you were there for me. I've never questioned like, oh, is he this type of person, or can something happen? Like it's hard finding that kind of loyalty. So I appreciate you like helping me on my journey like this far, and seeing you doing that for a lot of people is inspirational. That's why like when I saw you hooping at 24, I was like, you big bro, like you literally like looking out for everybody when they least expect it. And may Allah like grant you more and everything that you're
I
asking
mean,
for in life.
I
I
mean,
really do.
I appreciate the kind words, bro, because that really means a lot. Even for myself, man, I never was doubting myself, but it was more of like the recognition, you know. So I really appreciate that, man. And like obviously we can't tell our whole story through like one podcast, you know. But there's a lot that people don't know that we go through. So just hearing these words like really means a lot, man. And you're doing it big too for the community. So yeah.
We gotta take care of each other, bro. I feel like a great point that I'm trying to think of that I'm forgetting is like nobody's gonna look out unless somebody else looks out. So we kind of have to break away from that and look out regardless, no conditions. And I think that's what building a community is about, where it's like we can support each other without thinking if there's anything involved. And I think what we're doing here and what you're doing outside is building like a very good rapport on, um, excuse me, a very good rapport on community. I think we have like a negative. I don't think I had necessarily have a negative view of our community, but I know that there isn't a lot of positives as well. There's like it's kind of like it weighs itself a little bit, but I think our community is defined individually, in our individual efforts in trying to unite people. I think it's not supposed to be like uniting people with strings attached. I think it's uniting people with no strings and coming off with the center belief of self improvement, deen, and Islam. So I don't think you necessarily have to be the most modest person. I think you just have to be a real person, bro.
Facts.
And that takes strength, and that takes a lot of mental health space, because no matter what, people are gonna look at you as like the example. And I think without putting that kind of pressure or that kind of like thought in your head, you're doing amazing, bro. Like I don't know how else to say it. I'm not looking at anybody else, not because I'm not looking for it, but more so like who wants it, and you want it, and that's some very
On a
very
bad. Yeah,
yeah.
no, I'm playing.
You can tell who want it bad, and every
Yeah.
day, bro. Like you're out here, bro. You're out here. I'm out here. My team is out here, but I think it's like bigger than that. I think the bigger goal is always to self improve, and I think that's what we're doing individually and bringing everybody together. I noticed you got a UDG on,
Yep.
so we're gonna give a quick shout out to.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my boy, man. Underdogs. Uh, Against all odds. It was my boy Issa. I grew up with him. That's big bro. He came up with this clothing brand, and I just feel like this stands with me. You know, I just feel like my whole life. I want to say my whole life, but there's sometimes where I felt like people brushed me to the side, like I wasn't anything. You know, but I always keep a mental note. You know, to revisit that in the future, and I guess you could call it petty, you know, or whatever. But yeah, man, shout out to my boy. This is his brand. I'm rocking it. I love Dago, man. I love Dago people, you know, and I love rocking their clothing. brand. I love my city. I love California. I feel like we're the best of the best, you know. So even you, like
100.
exactly, like Mo, even for your brand, you know, Modest Forever, I'm rocking with that too, you know. Just anybody that I feel like is from my city, I have to rock with them, you know. This is all we got, you know. We have to support each other before anybody else can support each other. But yeah, this is my boy's brand. Make sure y'all cop the merch.
Yo, are we ever gonna get some merch from you?
Not no merch. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, but I do got bigger plans, like I was telling you, you know, and we gonna keep that on the hush right now. But stay tuned, y'all.
I don't know how we can go on from there, but I think a good point to center back to is uh the idea of wins and losses. Shout out to Meek Mill because that song, that's a national anthem for me. But losses. I know whatever you're comfortable with sharing because people think that it's just all W's. Hey guys, not everything is going to be a win. Not everything is going to be a loss, but there's definitely a lot more losses than there is W's. Um and I want the viewers to know that like this is real life. And I want to know if there's any specific things in life where it didn't go your way or something unfortunate happened, and how did you bounce back from that?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. That's beautiful. I still feel like I be taking a lot of L's, you know, and obviously, like you said, people on social media they're only gonna show the W's, which respect, you know. Like I'm doing the same thing too, but there's always sometimes there's a particular time in my life where I applied to SDSU, and this is me, bro. I'm all happy. I'm like, man, I barely made community college. I passed. I didn't even think I was gonna pass high school, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, you know. And I'm in a community college right now, you know. Not at no university. I'm applying to SDSU, so all my hopes are up, you know. And I remember there's one day where I got a letter saying I got denied, and I started questioning. I'm like, denied? Like, what's going on? You know? I'm thinking I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna have a full ride scholarship, you know. Like I'm about to go to the league, fam. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I was upset, very sad. I didn't let it I didn't let it beat me. You know. I talked to a couple of my mentors. We found a way. We made it happen. You know. The next year I got into SDSU, but there's another incident that happened or another time in my life where I applied for the master's program. You know, and I got denied. You probably like, yo, Kobe, you got a whole master's degree in counseling. Like, what are you talking about? No, but so I applied to a program with my brother, Sadaj. You know, shout out to him. He just graduated, man. Shout out to him. He's doing big things. It was a K through 12 program, you know, and I didn't get in, bro. And I was like, what? Like, what's going on, you know? And then I hit up my connects. That's why it's always good to have connects and just love people, you know, because they're gonna love you back, you know, if you're real, you know. So I hit up my connect and I got in through a different program, you know. And obviously everything's from Allah first, you know. First and foremost, it's from Allah, you know. But there's a lot of people that help me out. But those are, you know, moments in my life where I took big L's, you know, but I bounced back, bro. You know, I don't let it get to me. You know, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take an L now, bro, but someone else is gonna take a chance on me. And like I said, bro, not to be cocky, you know, it's more of confidence. You know, whoever takes a chance on me, they're gonna win. You know, they're gonna have a good life. You know, and whoever didn't take a chance on me, that's them. You know, that's what they gotta live with. You know, but whoever takes a chance on me, like I make sure the whole hood eats, bro. And I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sit here and cap. You know, I'm more of like of an action person, just like you, bro. You know, I'm gonna say it, but I'm gonna go and do it. You know, so I'm more of like, you know, whoever believes in me, I'm gonna go above and beyond for you, you know, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you why you picked me.
Powerful. That's very, very powerful. What about friends? Have you lost friends along the way?
Absolutely, bro. I lost a few soldiers, you know, on the way. Not everybody's gonna be on the same journey as you, you know, and Uh, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. You know, all my homies, you know, all the people I've known, like they always been real to me. You know, I feel like I've been spoiled, bro. Like so much love, you know, and alhamdulillah, you know. Obviously, it comes all from Allah, you know. But there's some people you have to cut off, you know, and then just if it's not mutual, if it doesn't work, you gotta come cut them off. But it's all love to everybody, you know, and anybody, especially from my city, Mo. Like it's all love, bro. You know, I love my city.
Support now is it's pretty different for the both of us because we're completely immersed in like what we're doing. How are you maintaining uh balance in your life right now with things going on at home and especially career and like social life?
Like, what am I doing?
How are you balancing
Okay.
like everything?
Yeah, for sure, man. There's a lot that I'm doing. How am I balancing it? I feel like I'm not overworking myself. Because there's times where you can be overwhelmed and stressed out. So I'm definitely getting right, and I don't have a calendar, but I know exactly, like a mental calendar, exactly what day I have to do stuff. And there's a lot of stuff that I'm doing, but I wouldn't be the most organized person, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. It's more of a lot of support that I get. Shout out to my moms, man. I'm coming home to a cooked meal. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to worry about like buying food or doing other stuff. But yeah, if that answers your question.
No, no, no. It answers it very, very thoroughly. I know you said support was a key. What are other key lessons that you've learned on your journey so far?
For sure, networking. Whoever's watching this, make sure you're networking. I'm telling you, man, network and experience. That's gonna take you far in life. People like get LinkedIn, get LinkedIn. I'm like, nah, I don't need LinkedIn. But you should get LinkedIn. But I'm more of like, I'm outgoing. I'm gonna go out there and meet people. I don't care, man. Whoever you are, you could be the poorest person, you could be the richest person. Like, I'm gonna talk to you, I'm gonna have that connection with you. And it's nothing but real, like, I'm not always asking for no handout. It's more of like, okay, how can I connect with you? I like talking to people. Why you think I'm a counselor? You know what I'm saying? I love talking to people. But for sure, networking, bro. Networking and experience, those two things will get you far in life.
How does I think a big question is how has faith helped you this far?
100%. I like just everybody else, sometimes you get lost in the sauce. I remember during the pandemic, I started getting stronger to my religion, and I'm Muslim. I think I should have mentioned that earlier. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
All praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But religion helped me out a lot, man. And it kept me focused, just making a lot of du'as, and having that connection with God, And I'm gonna be real, man. God saved me. I'm keeping 100. Like, just asking Allah to open opportunities for me. Anything that I need, wallahi, I call upon Him. Because who else can give it for me? And if it wasn't meant for me, it was never meant for me. And if it was meant for me, it's gonna reach me. And without my religion, I feel like I'll be lost, bro. I feel like I would be a loser, And I'm just very grateful that Allah keeps giving me chances and chances and chances and chances. And I know He loves me. I love Him too. And religion is super big, Even though this is what I tell people: it's not how you start, It's always how you finish, Yeah, back then I might not have been super, close to my religion, but you're not gonna knock me down now. That I know that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is there, that He's all forgiving. And man, that's all I could say, man. Religion is a big part of my life, even if I didn't mention it earlier.
Alhamdulillah, bro.
Alhamdulillah, yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Is there any advice that you want to give to the homies, to the people watching this?
Yeah, man, it's never too late. Like I mentioned earlier, I love saying it's not how you start, it's always how you finish, and keep going. There's a lot of people battling with mental health, like you said, and whoever's going through mental health, problems right now, go seek help, man. Try to get a therapist, go out there, talk to people, we gotta normalize these things, and even the other homies that are dealing with, substance abuse, may Allah protect all of us. I mean,
I mean,
try to seek help. Ask loved ones, talk to people. It's never too late, man. Everybody could be great. There's so much money to be made. There's so much fame to have. You know what I'm saying? It's never too late to do anything. One day, bro, you could have nothing. Wake up, you could have everything. And one day you could have everything and wake up and you could have nothing. And I seen it all, bro. I felt it all. So just keep working hard. We here for you. Your people's here for you. Wallahi, man, call me, bro. Like, like, bro, like I said, bro, I'm just as everybody else, just trying to make it out, so just keep going, keep going. Go back to school if you can, school's not for everybody, but if that's what your mom and dad want, make them happy, bro. That's another thing to success in this life, bro, is to make your parents happy, Unfortunately, right now, alhamdulillah, I only have one parent, but I know people that don't have no parents. I know people that had one parent since they were young, so who am I to be ungrateful, So,
Mm.
like I said, man, to answer your question, go out there and be great, man. Just wake up and be great. We came to America for a reason, Don't let it slip up.
That's very powerful. May Allah make it easy for you and your family and for everybody else
I
who
mean,
don't have the strength to vocalize it. But I hope that they can take what we said here today, and if they learn anything, to internalize it and to always trust Allah, because it's so easy to get lost and it's so easy to forget where you came from. And this is where we're coming from. East San Diego, born Muslim. And I think that's going to conclude podcast number 2.
yes, sir.
Kobe.
Thank you, family. Yes,
Love it,
sir.
brother.
Love.